Hello my friends and welcome back to PlayStation Underground. I am joined by Tom from the Chinese room. We are playing Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Tom, I could think of no better way to get started than to just have you take us into this game.
No problem.
Thank you for joining us, by the way.
Oh, pleasure.
Yeah.
So, Everybody's Gone to the Rapture is a game about the end of the world like no other. It's an open world, story-driven mystery about the effects of a earth-shattering event on regular people and how they react to this, come together and face this adversity.
So I can already tell that your team is going to be playing with a lot of different emotions there. I mean, it's very haunting, it's very sad. There's like a lot of different push and pull, I think. Is that correct?
Oh, definitely. I mean, the emotion of the story is something that we're really pushing to the forefront with this game, and we really feel that the only fail state for this game is if you come away from the game not caring about the people and what's happened to them. So that's the way we view things.
I really like that attitude.
So, a key theme of Everybody's Gone to the Rapture is discovery, and what we really want is for the player to craft their own story. And as I said before, it's an open world adventure. You can basically go anywhere and uncover the story in any order, in any way that you want.
And where are we set right now? Is this in the UK where your team is based, or is this somewhere else in the world?
So, the game is set in
or a fictitious realm.
It's a fictitious village called Yorton. It's in the British countryside of Shropshire, and it's set in the mid 1980s.
Okay, perfect. Now my portrait is made, and I can proceed.
Perfect. So, what we're really going for here is allowing the player the freedom of choice. We're not funneling the player down any particular route. The story is not given to the player in cutscenes. They're really crafting their own journey. The way story's delivered to you is via a number of different ways. One of them being transmissions, which you'll find through various electrical equipment, such as radios, such as this. And you'll discover very early on in the game that somebody is broadcasting messages from within the community.
For 3 hours, and so far I've accumulated over 3 megabytes of binary data. The pattern does not, at this point, seem to be part of any recognizably closed loop, but there remains symmetry despite the conflicts.
I feel like a really strong voice cast is going to be essential in a game like this.
Yeah, absolutely. We've worked really closely with Sony Santa Monica, who are helping produce this title, and yeah, we've got a really strong cast that we'll talk about a bit more at a later date.
Perfect. And spoilers for later in the episode.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Well, that's something that we'll discuss. Yeah,
excellent,
at a later date. So. We've got the radio transmissions. We've also got what we call passive events. As you can see here,
you look well. I don't, but thank you.
We've got these representations of characters within the game, and
it's great to be back.
These you uncover just by walking close to them. They're called passive events. And basically, these are going to give you bites of the story. These are fragments of conversations, of people's memories, and yeah, I mean, it will give you a sense of what happened in the events leading up to this cataclysmic event.
And I'm assuming, and of course, don't tell me if you're not allowed, but I'm assuming that the very essence of this sort of ethereal interaction you're having with the characters around you, is that also explained at some point in the story, or do you leave some things to the imagination?
Well, It's something that definitely becomes apparent much later in the game as to what's actually happened here.
Okay.
It's something that we don't want to spoil for the players.
I'm not telling you to reveal the entire game on the show. So,
and but yeah, I mean, the game is definitely has a clear focus on allowing the player to uncover this story, and the beauty of it is that no one player will have the same experience as another. You'll find early on in the game there are events that are hinted at, slight ambiguities that do not become apparent unless you really dig and really explore and try to uncover as many of these events as possible. And one of the things that we found with our previous titles, like Dear Esther, for example, is that it stimulated great debate amongst players as to what the meanings were behind the different stories and the characters' motivations. And yeah, I mean, it's really a game that the more digging that you do, the more it rewards you.
Phenomenal. Well, the video game community can be very passionate about uncovering things hidden within stories and within narratives. So
oh, definitely.
I'd say that's a safe play.
So yeah, we're really looking forward to players getting their hands on the game and some lively discussions about what's going on in our world
Yeah,
here.
absolutely. And I must say, you say the beauty of it was that people will be encountering all these things and having different experiences from each other. But I would like to think that the beauty of it is how absolutely breathtakingly beautiful this idyllic village is, made by a fairly small team. I mean, your team is not huge. I will say that.
There's only 15 of us in the studio, and yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of love and passion poured into this project.
I think it's apparent.
I mean, one of the things that's been absolutely key about the development is authenticity of the environment, and I mean, there's two key things here. Is that we've really tried so hard to create an authentic representation of Britain. I mean, our co-director and creative leader, Dan Pinchbeck, he said very early on in the production that if it wasn't right and if it wasn't Britain, that we'd rip it out and start it again. And
so that
the Sony Santa Monica guys aren't going to watch this, are they?
No, I mean, they might. This isn't just being broadcast into a dead space. This is real.
So there's something very, very specific about Britain, we feel. I mean, obviously, our studio's based there.
Right.
We
yeah,
feel
it's
very
part of home.
We feel very passionately about this, and it's got a very lush and something really, really unique. You look at the English countryside, and you can't be anywhere else in the world. And this is something that we really try to infuse into every corner of the environment.
Yeah, absolutely. And is it operating on a sort of cyclical day-night cycle, or are certain things directed and dependent on story?
Well, I don't want to go into too much detail.
Okay, that's fair.
But
nice dodge.
But there are numerous things that affect the time of day in the world, and yeah, we'll definitely be seeing some of that.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how gamers always want to know about time of day? It's such an important quality in our games.
Well, I mean, it's something that I mean, the game is built using CryEngine by Crytek, and I mean, we're working with a really, really strong tool set, and the technology behind the game really makes it easy for us to realise this lush environment and support effects like the time of day, as you mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the other thing in terms of authenticity is, as I mentioned before, the game is set in the mid 1980s, June 1984 to be precise. And what we try to do is, I mean, the game isn't an exercise in nostalgia, but we have tried to infuse this feel and give a grounding to the world and the environment. And you'll see that it's been really interesting, because the 80s were known as maybe not the most exciting of eras, but it's been a real challenge to, especially for the art team, to come up with something that looks dated but also fantastic at the same time and beautiful. And you know, so there's lots of things, particularly for us. We're really looking forward to giving the rest of the world and everybody out there just sort of a taste of what it was like to exist in this time period.
I feel like I really want to quote you on maybe not the most exciting of eras for in reference to the 80s. A very polite way to put it, I think.
Well, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
And it's one that I think the team have really grasped and delivered on, making something
and it's beautiful. I mean, this village looks like so idyllic. It looks like a paradise, except you have this this discrepancy between this idyllic environment and the fact that some cataclysmic event has happened, and it's so achingly empty.
Absolutely, and you know, it's one thing that you know, we've really strived for is to make it just a beautiful space to just be in, to give you pause, you know, time to pause and reflect, and yeah, I mean, it was really a key objective of ours to just make it a beautiful place to be. So
yeah, go ahead.
What we've got here is the third main storytelling mechanism here, which is what we call a tilt event. So what I have to do in order to reveal the event, I have to use the 6-axis function of the DualShock
4,
and tune in this event here.
I saw you doing that.
Beautiful.
Go away from me, don't come near me.
This is people's property, you're scaring them.
It's all over the village. It's got into everything. It's so fun.
And as you can see, for these tilt events, we have gone into another time of day here, just to really highlight the importance
breaching
of
the quarantine and adapting.
Give me that bloody can. Hand it over, Appleton.
No, get off. No, Champs,
Give me the little shit.
It's mine.
Give me the can. Grow up!
And one of the things we've gone for here with these representations of people and the events that have happened here is we've left it up to the player to imagine what these people look like.
Yeah.
And the more time you spend with the characters and learn about their stories, you know, very much like you're reading a book, you develop your own image of what they look like. I mean,
your own interpretation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we give the player the space to be able to do that. And I mean, I certainly know what I think all the characters look like. And
you have a very unique perspective of being in the development studio, though.
Oh, definitely. I mean, but it's, you know, it's been a pleasure to be able to get to know these characters, and you know, we've really, with the script that Dan has produced, you know, I think we've got really memorable, strong characters that will stay with players, and you know, for those who really dig deep into the game and look for every little bit of story that they can, I think they'll find that really rewarding.
So I know that we only have a few minutes left, and so I want to make sure that you can get to everything you need to get to, but also I want to know what every PS4 owner absolutely needs to know about Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, just taking away from even this video.
What we've done is we've tried to create a game that will be an emotional experience, and hopefully you'll be able to take away from this, you know, you'll be able to feel the absolute passion that we've tried to pour into the game. I mean, absolutely key to this is the interplay between the story and the music that we've got here. Our other co-director and composer, Jessica Curry, has just produced an absolutely amazing score that has been developed in tandem with the story, and what you'll experience here is just a heightened sense of emotion when you uncover each of these story instances. You'll hear not only the beautiful music that's been produced for each of these. We've gone to a lot of trouble to create a procedural audio system that takes Jessica's music, not only randomizes it, but also pulls it apart and recombines it into something unique that every player will experience. They'll have their own experience of
It's
that
almost
moment.
like their own personal score is being kind of composed for them as they go.
Absolutely, that's what we've tried to go for, and it's something that's really come together fantastically. So yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, we as you say, we have a small team, very passionate team, and who I think has really punched above their weight with this game. You're seeing small scale AAA production values here, from the visuals, from the music,
voice acting,
from the acting, from the script, and I think we're delivering a really unique experience on PlayStation 4.
Phenomenal. Well, that was like a perfect ending line. I wish we should have just ended there, but I will say thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure to be here.
And Everybody's Gone to the Rapture is coming to PS4 summer of 2015. Is that
That's
correct?
correct. Yeah.
Tom, thank you so much.
Oh, pleasure.
So thank you everyone for joining us on PlayStation Underground. Again, that was Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, which is coming to PS4 in summer of 2015. Thank you so much, Tom, for coming all the way out here to be with us. And I think I want you to sign our wall. What do you say about that?
Perfect.
Cheers, guys.